So we're going to talk through the electric one guitar parts, the first electric guitar parts for Death Was Arrested. This song we're going to do with 3 guitars, an acoustic, like a beefy electric, and then kind of a more like melodic interest electric. And this is going to be the melodic interest electric. So this is the guitar that has kind of those signature arpeggios kind of off the top. So I'm just going to talk through the parts really quick, and then I'll probably do a separate video where I play along with the song and demonstrate them. But yeah, we'll dive in. All your notes are on your guitar notes sheet, so if you don't have that yet, you should probably pull that up so that you can follow along and kind of see what I'm talking about. Let's start with that intro arpeggio figure. And this is actually, it's pretty simple. Instead of like full like finger pecking arpeggios, it's really just alternating 2 strings. So when I play this, I keep my pinky just kind of anchored on the D string on the 4th fret. And that just kind of becomes like the anchor point for every single chord, straight through to that first like breakdown half chorus in both the intro and both the verses. Everything else, the bass note kind of changes, but this note stays the same. So here's B, and then E, B, E. When I saw and dead in my sin, lost without hope. F sharp is 2, and then 4. So you'll see there, on the E string, I put my first finger on the 2nd fret for that F sharp, and then my 3rd finger on the 4th fret for that G sharp. Your love made a way to let mercy come. When death was arrested and my life began. And that continues in verse 2. Now notice that the intro line and the first line of verse 1, oh, I'm so good with words. The intro line and the first line of verse 1 are different, like the count is different. So in the intro you play the B for 3 beats before moving on to the E2, and in the first line of the verse it's only 2 beats, and then you hit the E2 and pivot right back to the B. So the intro sounds like this. I'll count it out. Ready? The intro sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, E. 1, 2, 3, E. And then the verse sounds like this. 1, 2, E. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then back down to the E right there. So just keep a note of that. I'm sure you can hear it in the recording, but I just thought I'd point it out. So, on from there, you'll be playing those arpeggios, and what I'm doing here, I looked for like kind of a clean, warm sound for those arpeggios, but then I also have an overdrive that I kick on for basically everything beyond those clean arpeggios in the beginning. It's really important for the chorus and the bridge to make those octaves kind of stand out, but my guitar guitar tone work is not my strength, and so for me at least, I really don't get any like, I don't know, happy, shiny, good, tony deliciousness unless I have some sort of overdrive on most of the time. My guitar just totally gets lost in the mix. So you probably know your own gear, and you know when you'll need to kick that on, but probably for the choruses and the bridges you'll want an overdrive just to kind of like, make it kind of soar over the rest of everything else. But I kick it on right after that first half chorus for me. In verse 3, you have a very simple part. You're just going to kind of play with your 3rd finger on the 11th fret on the G string, and your 1st finger, whatever finger you want to use, but these are easiest I think, on the 9th fret on the D string, like that. And you're just going to kind of palm mute with the heel of your hand and play triplets. kind of accent that high note at the beginning of each triplet. But the important thing about this is that you're really just creating an interesting texture to kind of layer over the rest of the band. It's not. This is why I kind of shy. Well, one of the many reasons I shy away from calling these parts like lead guitar parts, because this is not like a lead figure. You don't want to like overpower everybody else. This is just texture, so you want it to be really subtle. So when you get to the chorus, you're going to be playing octaves on the D and the B strings. So that means that I play them with my first finger and my fourth finger, and there's 2 octaves or 2 frets in between each. So, fourth finger on the B string, and then first finger on the D string, like that. And you want to kind of mute as much as you can, or just not play the other strings. Mine are probably going to be a little bit sloppy just because I'm bad at guitar. But this is kind of how they sound, and I can't sing them and play them at the same time. So I'll just kind of start the chorus, or start each line as well as I can, and hopefully you'll get a sense of it. But again, I'll have a demonstration video too, where I'll be playing through with the recording, so hopefully that'll help put things in context. But it goes kind of like this. Oh, your grace washes over. You have made me. And then you repeat that again. But the second half of the chorus, sorry that was a little bit sloppy, but you get the idea. It's all written out on your guitar note sheet. It's just octaves, but they change in that time that I just demonstrated. When you get to the end of the first chorus, you'll just resolve back on that bass E, the 9 and the 12 on the D and the B strings, like that, and they just kind of fade out before the beginning of verse 4 that our Savior displayed. Savior displayed on a criminal's cross. You'll be out for that first line, just like pretty much everybody else except for the pads. And then, during that full band build up to that third chorus, you'll play on 12 and on 14 on the B and the E strings, like that, and just quarter notes. But then Jesus arose without freedom in hand. That's when death was arrested and life began. That's when death was arrested and life began. And you go right back to those octaves for the third chorus. So the bridge is going to be really similar to the chorus in that you're still playing octaves on the D and the B string, but the line is slightly different because the chords are slightly different. So here's kind of how that sounds. Oh, we're free. Come join the song. Oh, we're free. When death was arrested. So I cut short that last line a little bit, but that is the part in the tag. So at the end of each of those figures, you kind of start up on 19 and descend from there 3 times, and then at the end of each of those things, come join the song of all the redeemed. No, that's when death was arrested. That's when death was arrested and my life began. Instead of starting up on the 19th fret, you're going to start down on the 12th fret. So that's when death was arrested and my life began. Let me play it again because I screwed it up. That's when death was arrested and my life began. Like that. So then when the tag comes, you repeat that figure. That's when death was arrested. That's when death was arrested, and my life be. And instead of going up, you go down to 9 and 12. Again. Just like that. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. You've got those clean arpeggios in the beginning, you've got the octaves in the chorus and the bridge, and then you've got those two little two-string texture-y things. In verse 2, it's the palm muted triplets, and in verse 4, it's the build on 12 and 14. Like that. And everything now, as we're playing it here out of context, probably sounds like kind of like tinny and plinky, but in full band, you really want it to be bright and to cut through the top of the sound. You don't want it sounding like tinny or hollow, but you do want it to kind of come over the rest of the band. It's supposed to be this kind of higher soaring electric part, and it's a really fun part. So if you feel like it's not coming out or whatever, talk with your music trainer and see if you can kind of get some feedback on your tone to make sure that part really cuts through when it's supposed to. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.